Thanks for tuning in to Al's Air Guns. Today we are taking a look at some pellets, or a collection of pellets from Gamo. Gamo is telling me that these are performance pellets for target hunting, or target shooting and hunting. The reason I bought this was wanting to do some velocity testing on the Crosman 2289 that we got in the Drifter package. I needed some alloy pellets to do that with, and this was the only way I could find the 22 caliber Raptors that I found a lot of the old testing was done with when they talk about non-lead pellets. So what we were able to get for approximately $32 was, I think, 25 of our, or excuse me, let's read it back here, 25 of the PBA Raptors, which weigh in at 9.8 grains. Also got the PBA Platinums, which are 9.7 grains. They claim we'll see more velocity by about 5%, and that they're going to penetrate further. So what we're talking about is a claimed increase of velocity of 25%, 30%, and then we go to their PBA Armor, which is weighing in at 10.6 grains, has a steel BB in the head of it, and that is supposed to give us 20% more velocity and better penetration because of the steel. Same thing going on with their rocket pellet here, except this is a lead pellet that has the steel penetrator ball added, and those are weighing it at 14.5 grains. So we'll go ahead and shoot these things through the Crosman, and that should give us a pretty good idea of how they perform. One of the first things I wanted to evaluate with the performance pellets I got in the pack from Gamo were their claims to increase velocity by 25 to 30%. I've heard that before, wanted to go ahead and put it over the chronograph and put it to the test. For doing that test, they told us that the PBA Platinums were the lightest pellet in the group at 9.7 grains. So those are the ones I chose to go ahead and stack up against the Crosman Piranhas, which are a 14.3 grain pellet that came in the package with the Drifter. The Crosman 2289 comes in a package that right now they've got bundled as the Drifter. This one has been modified slightly in that we did go ahead and upgrade it to Crosman's steel breech, which allowed us to go ahead and mount a red dot sight on it and do a little bit better with accuracy for these old eyes. But this is the air gun we're going to go ahead to use both the pellets in and see what kind of velocity readings we get. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the results of the velocity testing. This is where we shot the Crosman Piranha 14.3 grain lead pellets in comparison to our Gamo PBA Platinums. We shot them out of our Drifter, Crosman 2289, and these are the results we saw. I'm kind of, I guess, emulating Paul Harrell here with this presentation. But let's go ahead and look at it this way. I think it's a little easier. So we've got the Crosmans over here, and what we see in looking at it, when we went at 3 pumps, the Crosman delivered a velocity of 397.16 feet per second, and the Gamo alloys delivered 419.40. So we saw an increase in velocity. When we pumped it up 6 times, we saw 504.40 from the lead pellet and 552.82 from the alloy. At 10 pumps, we saw 554.55 feet per second, yet from the lead, yet on the alloy, it delivered a velocity of 646.57 feet per second. So did we see an increase in volume with the performance pellets? Yes, absolutely, we did. At 3 pumps, we saw an increase of 22.24 feet per second. At 6 pumps, we saw 48.42 feet per second. At 10 pumps, we saw 92.02, almost 100 feet per second there, over the 550 delivered by the lead pellet. So yes, definitely we get an increase in velocity. It also shows us the greater the velocity, the initial velocity, the greater percentage of increase we see. At the point where at 550 feet on the lead, we're delivering almost an extra 100 feet per second. When we're down in lower ranges, we don't see that kind of an increase. Let's talk about that for a minute. The velocity results, let's go over them. First of all, I want to say that we shot this in a pneumatic gun. If we were to redo this experiment in a spring gun, for instance, I think the results would be very different. I think we would still see an increase, but I think the percentages of increases may be perhaps greater. However, in the gun we shot it in, at 3 pumps, the increase was 22.24 feet. Well, that's only a 5.6% increase. 6 pumps, we were looking at a 9.5% increase. And at the 10 pumps, we saw a 16.7% increase roughly. So we're not seeing the 25 to 30% we were promised, but we did see an increase. That came at a cost, however, and let's go ahead and get to that cost next. In evaluating performance, one of the things we really want to talk about too, in addition to velocity, is what is this doing to our muzzle energy? And given the velocities we saw, as you know, muzzle energy is dependent on velocity and the weight of the projectile. At 3 pumps, we were seeing over 5 foot-pounds of muzzle energy with lead pellet. With our Gamo pellet, we did go 22 feet per second faster, but we dropped in muzzle energy over a pound to 3.79. At 6 pumps, we saw something similar, 8 foot-pounds with the lead pellet, 6.58 with the alloy. 10 pumps, 9.76 with lead, and 9 foot-pounds, 9.01 with the alloy. So what we see is, really the alloy pellets rely on velocity to do well. So if we were at maybe using these for hunting or pesting, we might want to lean towards the lead pellet in the pack, the rocket, or something like that if we were wanting to maximize our muzzle energy. So in terms of muzzle energy, performance is down, not up. Let's go ahead and take a look at accuracy. In considering accuracy that I got out of the Gamo performance pellets and the alloys, I was very much surprised, particularly in the case of the alloy pellets. When Gamo first came out with the Raptor pellets years ago, they showed increased velocity, but the joke as far as accuracy, where you could hit anything that you could convince to stand inside the barrel. Outside of that, it was anyone's guess. Very happy to report that that has changed. I haven't done a lot of shooting with them. These were some PVAs that were from a different Gamo pack, but in the shooting I did with them the other day, in my indoor range, we're looking at just about 15. Well, we got 5 yards there, so yeah, about 15 feet. Just offhanded, I often shoot H&N Barracudas, the Hunter Extreme, when I'm out in the field, so I use them a lot as a comparison. But when I was playing with them, the drifter put the H&Ns into the group right here, but the Gamo Raptors just blew that away. These are 5-shot groups, and as you can see, they really shrunk that H&N group down. We're right about a quarter of an inch center to center. And the Gamo rockets, which are the pellet that is a traditional lead with the steel BB in place. That would personally be my choice if I were doing any pesting or hunting with these. The Gamo rocket also did really super well. We've got some tears, but center to center, you're under a ½ inch easily. And while these weren't at a great distance, I was not shooting off a bench or really putting a lot of effort into it. So I was really surprised with what I've seen so far from the pellets Gamo gave us in the performance pack. So are they better than the best lead pellet you can find? Oh, potentially not. But compared to what I've seen out of Raptors in the past, these things are simply amazing. And on that note, I think we'll probably go ahead and end this review of the Gamo Performance Pack pellets. Might try them again in a spring gun just to see what kind of differences that would make. But hey, thanks for sticking with us, and see you on the next one.